Yeah, welcome to the AM News with me, KENYASI-ABIREM. And the first story, the Food and Drugs Authorities warned validity dates on food items does not guarantee the food is wholesome. Head of the Drug Enforcement Unit of the FDA, Thomas Amejo, says beyond the expiry dates that are printed, consumers should look out for other telltale signs that could give away products' authenticity. Well, the Minister of Health, Sharia Ite, urged service providers on NHIS not to carry through their threat to withdraw services to card bearers by July, as government is working on plans to pay all arrears before next month. She has assured government is still committed to making the system sustainable and efficient. Right, we'll move on to our next story. And the former Minister of Trade and Industry and President Kufuor's administration, Alan John Kojo Kyerematen, is expected to pick nomination forms from the NPP headquarters today, June 18, 2014. Alan Kyerematen, in 2007, you recall, picked and filed his nomination document 72 hours after the official opening of nominations by the party. On Tuesday, the office of Alan Kyerematen issued a statement denying media reports the NPP presidential candidate hopeful had bowed out of the race to lead the party in 2016. The statement, signed by Nana Ohenentu, spokesperson for Kyerematen, said the fabricated story was first carried by Palava newspaper, a well-known pro-NDC newspaper, and widely circulated to other online portals. The NPP opened its nomination on June 6, and so far 5 people have picked forms. Well, sadly, 6 persons have been confirmed dead and 7 others injured in an accident involving a Hyundai minibus and a Burkina Bay articulated truck at Odumase, close to Konongo, on the Kumasi-Accra Road. Eyewitnesses say driver of the Hyundai minibus with registration number AS 5914 was overtaking another vehicle on a 3-lane hill and ended up crashing into the side of the Burkina Bay truck with registration number 11JJ8856BF. The driver of the articulated truck, Usman, is currently on admission at the Konongo Government Hospital, but the Hyundai driver died on the spot. Love News' Erastus Asaridonko reported Konongo Divisional MTTU Police Commander DSP Edward Osei said 5 people died on the spot and 1 later at the hospital. There were 4 males and 2 females. The injured also constituted 5 males and 2 females. The Judgment Debt Commission is promised to delve deeper into the compensation payments by the state to some individuals. It emerged at the commission sitting Tuesday that an amount of 1.4 million Ghana cedis was paid by government for the acquisition of lands for the Accra Plainside Agricultural Company. But government agencies which appeared before the commission didn't have enough documentation covering that payment.
The land valued by the Land Valuation Division of the Lands Commission in 2002 was purposely for the development of an Accra agricultural company for the state. The state is said to have paid 14 billion old cedi to one Togliza and 2 others with respect to a land acquired in 1977. According to External Resource Mobilization Officer of the Ministry of Finance, Kojo Piasa, the ministry could not trace any document relating to the compensation payments.
Yeah, my lord, when I appeared before you last week, I mentioned that we couldn't trace this particular claim in our database, and you gave me a letter which I think we got from controller indicating that the release came from the ministry. I made further checks, and the schedule officer at that time recalls actually preparing this letter for the release of the amount. Unfortunately, she couldn't still trace the file, and was convinced that it might have been sent to Pratt. So I made a follow-up with Controller and Accountant General, and they in turn informed me that they were in touch with the Ministry of Ag.
Chief Land Valuer at the Lands Division in his submission also explained the division was aware of the claims but had no knowledge of the payments made.
I haven't seen any such evidence of a commission by a court to his office to resolve or attempt a resolution of the conflicting issues. I've written to him to serve as copies of the court's commission so we can relate to the submission that he has put before us, because his letter is asking us to have a look at whatever work he's done so far and then put our heads together so we can conclude it in relation to what our records depict.
He tendered in some documents to the commission in connection with the land. A chief state attorney, Stella Otemabedu, also appeared for the Attorney General and said the AG was putting the necessary documents in place.
From the letter I saw written by the then Attorney General, I think we sat down with the parties. A compromise of some sort. Yes, and they forfeited the interest. The interest was the 2 billion was forfeited. Yes, and then so you were very lucky. So the evidence I have is evidence of the letter requesting the payment, but as to whether they've been paid, I can't tell from the file.
Meanwhile, the Judgment Debt Commission has also discovered the truth behind the payment of 340,000 old cedi to some unidentified beneficiaries whose name could not be traced. This was revealed by the Director of Legal Affairs at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture when he took a stand before the Commission.
At the last adjourned date of this particular matter, I provided the Commission with a document which I've come across, but the contents of that document ran at variance to my personal knowledge of the matter, and they run counter to other information that I have. Yeah, my Lord, my problem is I'm under oath to speak the truth and nothing but the truth, and the nature of that document conflicts with other things I know. And I would want to verify.
What was that document?
Before
you should give it back so that he tenders it.
Lead counsel of the sole commissioner, Dometi Kufisoko, assured the commission is going to dig further into such payments.
For a very long time, the description has only been payment of compensation to 340,000. It's a payment of compensation to the tune of 340,000, but there was no identifiable persons or beneficiaries of this compensation. But today, the representative of the Chief Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has given us an update on who these beneficiaries were. He mentioned 3 families.
Matilda Pamagan for Joy News.
Well, a final year female student, Kumka Lucy of Fielemo Junior High School in the Upper West region, sadly went blind 3 days before she was due to sit the Basic Education Certificate examination. The BEC is the first hurdle in Ghana's educational system for pupils in the junior high school level, and the 5-day exam began Monday with the English language paper and ends Friday with ICT. But a tragic drama unfolded, and Lucy, hailed by her teachers as great prospect for good grades, will not take part in the exams as she lost her vision on Friday at about 10 p.m. Immediately, she picked her books to study ahead of the Monday paper. Now, the Sisala West District Chief Executive Moses Dramani Luri encouraged the 18-year-old not to be perturbed by her current situation and promised that everything will be done to restore her vision. Let's go to Parliament now, and the Speaker of Parliament has directed the Ministry of Health to submit the report on the investigation into the missing baby saga at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. The investigations, among others, recommended some sanctions and security improvements. The directive was issued after the Member of Parliament for Asawase raised the matter on the floor.
Reading a short statement admitted by the Speaker, The MP for Asawase, Muntaka Mubarak, pleaded with the Speaker to invite the Health Minister to present the findings of the investigations on the missing baby to the House.
Now the report is out. The press release on the report by the Ministry leaves so many questions unanswered. Key among these is the most important issue of the whereabouts of the missing baby. It is essential that as a House, we demand the report of the inquiry. Mr. Speaker, it is imperative that this House gets a copy of the report for further scrutiny and understanding of the recommendations and conclusions arrived at. I therefore take this opportunity to appeal to your good self to request the Minister for Health, to submit the report to this August House.
The Speaker shared the concerns raised by the member and gave his direction.
At this stage, I direct accordingly that the report be submitted to the House. When the report comes, it will be referred to the Select Committee on Health. And then when the Health Committee report is out, honourable members, this is a very serious issue. And I think that all of us should be concerned. It is about human life. If our mothers and our wives and our sisters and our daughters go to hospital to deliver their children and they cannot be found, this House must take that matter seriously.
The Deputy Majority Leader and MP for Ashaman, Alfred Agbeshi, suggested the Speaker give a 48-hour ultimatum to the Health Minister to submit the report. But colleague MPs shut it down.
By close of tomorrow, the report will reach this House for us to consider. Give them 48 hours to bring the report to the House, Mr. Speaker. I plead.
Speaker, room, rather than saying by close of business tomorrow. If there's a minister coming, this is a very important issue that you may want to give them an opportunity to also address it. So I think you should give the Speaker 1 day is just too much.
They should bring this report to Parliament. So let them bring it to Parliament. But if it's in your wisdom, you want to give a timeline to it, I don't have a problem with it at all. But once you have directed that they should bring the report to Parliament, I am sure the report will reach the clerk's office as you want for the committee to look at it.
You are in charge of, you are assisting the Majority Leader in terms of conducting business in the House. So I think that the order stands, so you should try and facilitate it so that the report gets here as soon as possible.
Still in Parliament, members of the House are still debating the vacuum created at some ministries by the recent presidential reshuffle. This time, it was the Defense Minister's deputy who was made to stand in for the substantive minister. The Minister for Transport was also in the House to respond to a question from some members of the House. Meanwhile, the President has formally presented the list of his nominees and appointees to the Speaker of the House, who has also referred it to the Appointments Committee for consideration.
The Ministry of Health defended the report on investigations into the missing babies incident at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital in Kumasi, explaining that the Attorney General's Department is expected to carry on with further investigations. The 5 babies who were allegedly born dead have been declared missing for nearly 3 months. Family of Suweba Momen, mother of one of the missing babies, is threatened to go to court to seek justice after a report by a committee which investigated the matter failed to establish the whereabouts of her baby. But addressing journalists at the Meet the Press series Tuesday, Sharia Aiti said the criminal aspect of the matter has been handed over to the Attorney General's Department for further investigations and possible prosecution. She explained the committee instituted by her ministry only investigated 2 aspects of the case which were of professional and administrative nature because it did not have the mandate to investigate the criminal aspect. Well, workers began on the KENYASI-ABIREM road in the Ashanti region to make it maturable as the district awaits actual construction of the road. 3 months ago, residents of the area hit the street to demand urgent construction of their road to facilitate economic activities. Here's a report by Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin.
The Kwabre East District Assembly promised to upgrade the KENYASI-ABIREM road to facilitate the smooth transfer of goods and services to and from the community to the rest of the country. Joy News checks at the site on Monday revealed the district grader has begun its work to resurface parts of the road for easy vehicular movements. Drivers plying the road were excited to see the grader on site. They told the news team off camera that the reshaping of the road will reduce maintenance requirements and cost and improve economic conditions in the community. The reshaping of the road, which began at Duase, will end at Antwa in the district. District Chief Executive Adams Idisa reiterated the needs for residents to remain calm as efforts are being put in place to construct the entire road.
So I'm therefore using this medium to appeal to my people to bear with the government. We also have them in mind. Those exercise patients, in no time, contractor will come and then do it from Duase to Bonyure for them. But for the time, we are starting from Duase to Antwa. That's our limit.
Assembly members in the area who organized the demonstration earlier this year expressed their satisfaction about the project, but pressed on government to get actual construction of the road done.
And I thank the District Assembly, most especially the DC, for taking this initiative. And I hope after this, the government will hear us and come on board to do the normal work. By this time, we want a good road, better one. More of important, if it be an asphalt, we'll be more happy with that.
Mohamed Nuruddin's report for Joy News.